I didn't want that to be the first piece of fiction that I put out because I wanted people to take me seriously. And then also, like, I'm so grateful for anybody who comes up to me and is like, I love you because you're my favorite Bachelorette. Like, I'm always like thankful for that. But it's been really cool to see now people come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I just read your book. I love you. And like, that's what they know me for. So I've loved seeing that transition, but it's taken a while. And I'll also always be grateful for however anyone that has supported me has come along on the journey. Like wherever that starting point is, like I'm grateful for that.
Hannah Brown is best known for her association with Bachelor Nation, getting her start as a contestant on The Bachelor before being cast as The Bachelorette. She also is a Dancing with the Stars Mirrorball champion, winning the title in 2019. Outside of that, she is a two-time New York Times best-selling author with multiple books under her belt, including her latest release, Reasons to be Loved by You. As part of the Dory Jackson Interview, Hannah Brown opened up about her new partnership with Organon, the maker of NEXPLANON, for which she created an all-new short story, using her platform to speak up about issues close to her heart, her journey with pivoting from reality star to author, and more.
Hi, Hannah. I'm so glad to have you here. This is a treat for me, and I feel like for anybody that listens to this, it will be too.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
of course. So, first off, I know you're coming off of a busy weekend because you were in the Dancing with the Stars convention, the first ever of this kind of thing. So, what was it like just immersing yourself in that environment? And did it feel kind of like you were riding a bike again?
Oh my gosh, it was such a blast. I was on Dancing with the Stars 7 years ago and was lucky enough to claim the victory, have that mirror ball in my home now. But it's been a bit since I've actually really danced. And so I don't know if I would say it's necessarily like riding a bike. There were moments, like especially when I reperformed one of the dances that I did 7 years ago. And I do feel like that one came a little bit quicker for me than when I had to learn some of the other dances throughout the weekend. But it was really fun. It was so worth it. Like, I'm just honored to be a part of this amazing show, but also family. Like, it really is such a positive experience. And so being able to bring that in this new way for fans to be able to interact in a really unique way was like such a joy, really fun. Thankful I got to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I know that your Dancing with the Stars experience inspired this new short story that we're here to talk about. And I'm just very curious to know what was kind of the thing that resonated with you to want to even do the story, to collaborate with this brand in this way, in such an impactful way, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, 7 years ago, I was on Dancing with the Stars. I was on The Bachelor. I got to do all these incredible things. And I feel like I've had a lot of women kind of grow up with me and learn a lot about themselves and love and relationships. Now that I have had the dream to be able to write romance novels, I feel like what I've really noticed and what I think is so important is that when you have a platform, it is imperative to, you know, be a voice for other people or for your community and to relate to them in some way and kind of talk about the things that I'm going through and they feel like we are, you know, going through things together. And so, um, I loved being able to partner with Organon, the maker of NEXPLANON, in this short story because I was really able to do everything that I love to do, which is write, be able to talk about important conversations, and you know, a lot of times in romance novels in this genre, you really don't see really any mention of birth control. And I think it's really important to show important, normal conversations brought to life in a fictional way. And it's something that is so a part of life and relationships and being able to see characters talk about if and when they want to have children and what that can look like in the different options that you may have, I think is a really important thing to do. And so um, I was so glad to be able to have that conversation in this short story that is about this dancer, this ballroom dance professional that finds herself back in her hometown. And it's very competitive and still has these ambitions for herself, but finds herself falling in love. And so these conversations about what does that look like for me come up in this short story. And so it was such a honor to be able to partner with Organon and NEXPLANON to be able to write this short story and be able to draw inspiration from these parts of my life and bring it all together.
Yeah, and we talked about just how this isn't a discussion that is really had in the romance genre, and this is a genre that, is all about building up intimacy. And so why do you think that the genre often sidelines topics like this?
Gosh, I think it's not always sexy, but it's real. And it's real conversations that I know that I'm having with my friends, and we're talking about when's the right time for us if when we want to have children, but also like what we are doing to prevent that along the way. And I think a lot of times women just we don't have these conversations openly with our friends, but sometimes we don't really even know all the options that we have. So being able to have this like moment in this story where the main character and her doctor kind of decide, like, talking about her aspirations and her dreams, that it's a long acting reversible contraceptive was best for her and her vision for her life. Like, I don't think women even know all the options that we have, and it's been taboo for so long. And so I do feel like the romance genre is pushing the boundaries in a lot of ways, but this is another, thing that, I hope to continue to see in short stories, novels, and things to come, just having more realistic conversations and normalizing it. And so I'm glad to be able to do that with this short story.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much about women's health that we still just don't talk about and we need to be talking about. And like you said, there's so many options. Like I'm thinking about myself because I used to be on birth control and now I'm like, should I get back on it? Because I get like horrible cramps and it would help. But then it's like, what options? Because it's like you can do the thing in the arm, you can do the pill. And it's like, oh my goodness, there's too much.
I think that is another thing that is very important for me to just share with women is that, unfortunately, but you can look at it as an empowering moment, you have to advocate for your own health.
Amen.
And go into your doctor's office, advocate for what's going on for you, what you think is best for you, and make sure that all the options that you have and have those conversations with your doctor. I've been very open about kind of where I'm at in my family planning process, and I had to really go into these different doctor's appointments and sometimes be like, oh, this certain physician is not right for me. I need to try to find somebody else. And I had to really fight for myself to get the best care that I needed. And that's just been my own personal experience. But for any women that are listening to this and feel confused or questioning or defeated, like, it's just so important to not give up on yourself and what's going to be best for your lifestyle and the season of life that you're in.
Yeah, it's so important, and amen on that. And you're always so outspoken. I think that's one thing people love about you, which is
Thank you.
Yeah. So I have to ask you this when it comes to the romance genre. Is there a trope that you've come to hate, and then is there one that you didn't expect to love that you now appreciate?
My favorite trope is a second chance romance. I love it because I feel like it's something that doesn't always happen in real life because we're imperfect humans. And a lot of times there's just miscommunication or conversations that need to be had that we just don't. So to see characters being able to have those conversations and grow from them, I really like, probably because, fell in love with the Notebook. And I just love seeing that on the page and getting lost in those romances. One that I'm just like not a fan of is an age gap. I don't know. It's just not for me. Not for me because unfortunately I don't know why the 55-year-old men think that they should go for a 20-year-old woman in
Never.
real life, and I don't want to read about that either. I
No,
mean, maybe reverse, but not. Nah, I'm good. I'm good on that.
I'm good on both ways. It's
Yeah,
fine for me. I mean, there's worse things maybe, but I still don't love it.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Obviously with your story, it's been so in the forefront because you're on reality TV, because you have a social media presence. So when you think about your own love story and your marriage, is there just this need for you to shield and protect that just a little bit because of how public you are as a person?
I think I've grown in my wisdom of, wanting to continue to be authentic and share personal things that I'm going through with the community, with people, because it makes me feel less alone. And I think other people feel less alone when they see other, people with a platform talking about going through just growing pains of life. But there are certain things that I think it's important to, work on together as a couple before you bring in millions of people into, the thing that you're working through or growing in. So, I that wasn't my experiences on reality TV. Everything was happening in real time, and I was 24 years old, and very different than now being married and in the stage of life that I'm in now. But I do want to continue to, have uncomfortable conversations, be able to be somebody that, with my partner, we can be open and honest about the things that we're going through, but there does need to be a little bit of discernment about when that is right for our family. I think I'm getting better at it. I still sometimes open my mouth when I shouldn't, but we're working on it. We're growing.
Girl, I feel like I'm the same way. I had to
Yeah.
scale back my own social media habits. Now I don't even post what I'm doing until days later. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was at this thing. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah,
And sometimes you just have to do that, and that's okay.
yeah. Social media is a lot.
Hmm. Absolutely.
How much of your own personal experience have kind of inspired your own stories that you've written?
This past summer was my third romance novel, and I feel like it was the most personal in the way of my own experiences, really crafting the story and using that in the story. But in everything that I write, I want it to come from an authentic place. And you write what you know and what you've been through. And that might not be that I've been a runaway bride or been on a wild goose chase with my ex to find a friend. I haven't had those experiences, but I have had a lot of the thoughts and feelings and having to have these these moments of awareness about myself and how I hold myself back from love and what I deserve. And so I'm writing from that place in from every character. Every character is a little part of me. Like I said, the book is more about this girl that was on a reality dating show going back home after her life's been turned upside down. And even with this short story that I've written, it's about this dancer. I kind of know that person a little bit more. I don't have to do as much research, but every character has parts of me.
Sure. And, for you and your experience, because, of course, like we said, you were on reality TV and you're now transitioning from that into being this author. You have had multiple books published at this point. But what did that transition look like for you? And do you feel like you're kind of going up against this thing of people are like, hey, you're still this, but you're like, no, but I'm also this. I can be more than one thing?
I definitely feel like that's also been something that I've had to grow in, and I've had to be strategic. That's why these books that I've put out this year, Reasons to Be Loved by You is my newest novel. I've had the idea for that since the very beginning. I didn't want that to be the first piece of fiction that I put out because I wanted people to take me seriously and not just think, oh, she only writes about her own experiences, but I could have original ideas of experiences that these characters go on. And so I've had to do that. There's been some strategy of really people taking me seriously in this, and then also I'm so grateful for anybody who comes up to me and is like, I love you because you're my favorite Bachelorette. Like, I'm always like thankful for that, but it's been really cool to see now people come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I just read your book. I love you. And like, that's what they know me for. So I've loved seeing that transition, but it's taken a while. And I'll also always be grateful for however anyone that has supported me has come along on the journey, like wherever that starting point is, like I'm grateful for that. So yeah, it's kind of a interesting conversation because I think I'm still trying to figure out like how to bring the two together, but slowly working.
Yes. Before we go, because we are coming up on time, I need to know from you, what is your favorite current reality dating show that isn't The Bachelor? Because there's so many to look at. And I don't know, I need to hear from you. What are you watching? What are you loving?
Okay. I love Love on the Spectrum. I think it is an amazing dating show to watch. You don't feel like they're being manipulated in any way. It's just like true life experience for these individuals, like doing this new thing, pushing themselves, potentially finding someone that they really connect with. I think it's just a really beautiful show. And I will say last night, I did start watching Let's Marry Harry on Netflix.
Oh,
And
that's a throwback.
it,
Oh wait,
no,
the
it's
new one, the Harry
the new
Jousting one. I
one,
was thinking
the
of
Harry
the one where
Jousting
they
one.
had the Prince William fake. That's a different thing.
Yes, yes, yes. No, but Let's Marry Harry just came out, and I watched the first episode last night. And I will say, I really am like in it, and
Okay.
and we'll see, we'll see. Like I said, first episode, don't hold me to it. I don't think anything can really touch how I feel about Love on the Spectrum of just being
Ah,
like quality, like expose on life and love. But Let's Marry Harry has been entertaining so far. You should check it out.
okay, maybe. We'll see. Hannah, this has been so amazing, and I can't thank you enough for being here and doing this with me, and I wish you luck on everything that's coming.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I
Oh,
appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
anytime.
Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this from me, Dory Jackson. Bye for now.